Hello everyone, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make homemade rocket igniters, or just really igniters for anything that you want, fireworks, model rockets, it doesn't really matter. Buying them commercially is pretty expensive usually, and so I'll be showing you how to make them for very small cost to yourself. Here we have a finished product. And so let's get into building it. What you'll need is lead wires. I've cut up an old charger. You'll need electrical tape. You need Canthal A1 Nichrome wire. It's very important that it's this type because this has high resistance and will heat up when you put power through it. The smaller the gauge, the better. I'm using 36 and that works just fine for me. You'll need book of matches. Pretty much anywhere that sells pretty much anything has these. You can buy them for like 100 books in a box for a couple dollars about, and just get the cheap ones. Pretty much any kind will work. You're gonna need wire strippers, or like whatever you use to strip wires. It's easier with them. And a 9-volt battery is how you'll ignite these things. So let's get into making it. So you're going to take your lead wires. I have 2 stuck together. Whatever you have is fine. And I'm using an X-Acto blade to cut them apart so that I can separate them into their individual wires instead of having 2 together. So we got 2. Now you're going to take your wire strippers and strip off about this much. And you're going to want to do it to both wires on both ends. So there's 1. There's 2. Then you're going to want to twist these wires, threads of these wires, together to keep them from fraying apart. Just like that. Once you have your 2 lead wires, you can set those aside for now, and now you need your nichrome wire. The reason you use nichrome is that it has lots of resistance, so when you pass an electrical current through it, it will take that energy and turn it into heat and heat up, so that's why it ignites the match. So you just cut off a tiny little piece, about an inch, inch and a half. You can barely see it. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your 2 lead wires and your little piece of nichrome. And on the first one, you're going to wrap the bridge wire together. You're going to wrap it around the exposed end of your lead wire. Just like that. Make sure it's tight and has good connection, otherwise it will not work. And you take the other end, and you're going to want to wrap it around the other lead wire, just like this, leaving about a quarter inch of space in between. Bear with me here, my hands are a bit sweaty. Once your bridge wire is attached, it should look something like this. You're going to want to bend these down. You can cut them off if you want to. I just bend them down because that's easier. And so then you take one of your matches and you take a blade. I'm using an X-Acto blade. And you take it and make a little groove in the head of the match. Not sure if you could see that. That's where the bridge wire is going to go. Then you take some electrical tape, cut off about an inch, inch and a half of that. Then, like before, I dropped mine. That's okay. Like before, in between the lead wires, bridge goes in the groove that you made. Just like that. And then take your electrical tape and wrap the wires in the match tightly so that they're not moving around. And that, you're just about done. There's your completed igniter. You can see it looks like the one I showed you. And to ignite it, you can take alligator clamps to this. I'm just gonna put it on the battery straight for showing. To ignite this, you just one on each terminal, and the match will light up pretty much every time. It's not 100% success because, you know, there's just variables that you can't really control in there. But once you get good at making it, you should have a pretty reliable igniter that'll light up every time. And that's it. That's all the things you need to know to make them. It does take practice. You have to do a couple ones to get the hang of it and get it right. But once you figure out how to do it, you're going to have a great igniter. And that's all from me. See ya.